Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me again. Today we have a bait list. However, before we start talking about bait, we need to talk about a few things going on in the big H shopping world in Paris. And I'm going to be very unfiltered today, kind of like my older videos where I was very unfiltered, and I've become a little bit more Hollywood, keeping things inside. Not today, because I'm tired, honey. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna really hear my unfiltered opinion. Okay, so today I wanted to first of all answer a really interesting question that I received, and I thought it was worth kind of opening it up to everyone. I got a question from a viewer on one of my videos about traveling, about going to Paris. And Elaine said, she asked me, could I do anonymous bait lists for scoring in the Parisian boutiques? I was like, that's a great idea. So if anyone scores in Paris, if you'd like to send me your bait, and we'll chat about Paris bait, because many people think it doesn't exist. It does. Let me know. And then I was like, hello Elaine, yes, I plan on doing this. And then Elaine asked me a follow-up question, which I thought was really interesting and worth us chatting about. And what she said was, I also wonder, since there's pre-spending required, how do you decide to apply your expenditure between the flagship boutique and the non-flagship boutique in order to score? I'm going in the fall. Okay. Great question. Okay. Great question. First of all, the first portion of this question, other people would see Elaine's comment, by the way, thank you Elaine for leaving your fantastic question, and say, you don't need to spend money to be offered a bag in Paris. It's about the connection with the SA, and it's about if stock is there, and if you get lucky, you get offered. I used to think that, okay? I no longer think that after my experience. So the following response is based on my experience and speaking to at least half a dozen of you who have scored in Paris since I went in January, and you've all told me privately. So I speak to so many people almost every week because of my big H videos, people who scored in Paris, people who are trying to score. And to be honest with you, pre-spending, in my humble, very humble, high of Amazon opinion, plays a role in being offered in Paris if you do not get the lottery appointment. I really hope people listen, because you know how people are on the internet. People will listen to the first portion of what I said. She said it matters. It doesn't matter. I know someone who bought a Kelly or a Birkin and didn't have any purchase history and all the rest of it. Literally listen to what I say, okay? I think it plays a role in scoring if you don't get the leather appointment, i.e. the lottery, okay? If you're new to the Parisian game, there is a algorithmic lottery that everyone plays every single day. It's like a big H casino, honey. Let's call it the ponytail casino, where people apply for appointments, and then a system, which some of us think has manual eyes on it, that's for another day, then generates appointments. Many people score outside of the appointment system. Many people walk in and score, and many people also have essays. There's, in my very humble opinion, based on chatting to many of you who have scored this year, based on my experiences there is no way to score outside of the leather appointment without doing a little pre-spend in order to make your profile look good, basically, for the essay, basically, to kind of be like, okay, let me go and fight for this person a little bit. When I went in January, I was very naive. I really didn't think that, honestly, when I went in January, I didn't think that pre-spend mattered. I was kind of like everyone else. I was like, well, you know, I'll just buy something small. It doesn't really matter. Even my husband, Edwin, was like, who doesn't care about luxury. He could care less about luxury, about all of these brands. He's just like, whatever, does not care. Even when he came with me to Sèvres, and I'll put the TikTok up of my Sèvres experience, because he filmed me in Sèvres, and I was like, don't film me, and he's like, I'm filming you. Even he was like, why is everyone saying that, you know, because I was telling him, like, you know, oh, you don't have to spend money, they offer you the bag. And he was like, again, everyone is buying things in here. Why do people say that? That's not true. So to Elaine's question, okay, when she says here, like, since there's pre-spending required, how do you apply your expenditure? Big H will never say pre-spending is technically required. Many people don't think it's required. However, many people who have scored after buying bait in Paris know that it plays a role, okay? And a lot of people, for whatever reason, don't count like other things that they buy as bait. As far as I'm concerned, anything you buy in Paris and then for whatever reason you get offered a bag, or you ask one and then you get offered, that to me is your purchase history at the brand. I see this all the time, like on TikTok especially. Like, guys, I just walked into Hermes and I was offered a bag, and I didn't like spend any money. I just walked into Sephora, walked into George Sank, and they offered me one. And then when you ask them like, oh, okay, did you buy anything else? Have you ever bought anything at Big Sephora, honey, at Big George Sank? Oh yeah, I bought nail varnishes. Yeah, I bought Orange. Yeah, I bought a Cliquette. Well, you have purchase history then, so you have bought something, okay? So while pre-spending technically isn't required, we all know that there is a Parisian game outside of the leather lottery. If you get the leather appointment, the very famous Aesopian leather appointment, the fabled leather appointment that everyone's trying to get, which by the way has like a 97% failure rate apparently every day. If you get that, then of course like your purchase history doesn't matter, because they might offer you one, they might not. But if you don't get the leather appointment, how are you going to score if you don't buy things? I really, really want people to, in 2022, don't talk to me about 2010 or 2012, where you walked in and you did a walk-in and you were offered something. Don't talk to me about that. We're talking about 2022, this year, in light of all the competition that is going on at the moment. How are you, going to score? Okay, so let's talk about that. All right, so then the next portion of her question is, how do you decide to apply your expenditure between the flagship store and the non-flagship store in order to score? This is after my experience in January, I shopped across all three brands. I didn't enjoy my shopping experience at George Sank. I personally will not be returning to George Sank when I go back to Paris this year. I'm probably going in autumn. I will not be going back there because I didn't enjoy the shopping experience there. I am going to answer this question based on how I am going to play the Parisian game in autumn. How would I decide? I would go and buy my bits, okay, assuming that I don't get the leather appointment, and I'm going to assume that I'm not going to get it just because there's so much competition. I would buy my bits and pieces at Sephora, because in the Sephora boutique, all of the Big H essays are like they can work across all categories. So every single Big H essay in Sephora theoretically is able to sell you a coat bag, Birkin, Kelly, Constance. Whereas at FSH, and I believe George Sank as well, each essay sells at that specific department. So if you're like talking to an essay in shoes, there's not really a lot that they can do for you with the leather people, because they're selling shoes. So I would go to Sephora. Now, many people would say, why would you go there? They have less stock. I feel like these are just cliched things that people say in the Big H community. Stock is irrelevant. First, you need to put yourself in the hope of getting a bag. People talk about it like it's like Argos or something, where it's like some sort of place you're going to go there and you're going to get everything that you want that day. I personally would do the bait shopping at Sephora. Me personally, after being to all three boutiques, I think Sephora has the best shopping experience. Even so, I feel like it's really cool. They have those wooden globe things, and you can just go through each métier. I think Sephora is the better shopping experience. I wish I had known that before I went on my trip. I would have just focused on Sephora, and I wouldn't have bothered going to George Sank. I still think you can try at FSH, but I personally, when I go in autumn, I will try at Sephora, in terms of the bait spending, okay? So now I wanted to also just kind of address some things that I've been seeing on a lot of different social media platforms. I think it's worth us kind of chatting about. Honestly, I almost wasn't going to film this video today, but I thought, no, I'm going to be unfiltered like the old days of my channel. I remember when I had like 500 subscribers, I was very unfiltered and I kept things very Gucci. So we're going back to that Gucci, big Gucci behavior of keeping it very unfiltered. There are a few things which I keep saying, and I just wanted to just kind of help you guys through like, I wanted to kind of help you guys who are going to be shopping in Paris through a few things. And I feel like if you have found my channel, God willing, maybe this will help you if you go to Paris or if you're planning to go. First of all, when you see someone's Parisian experience on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, etc., you must understand that almost everyone who's posting a positive experience, they've had a positive experience because it's worked out for them. The people who didn't have a positive experience are not running on any of the social media platforms to film videos and talk about how they were rejected at Big H. Okay, people don't want to live through that shopping pain. Again, we really saw this as well with the Big H Austin debacle. Was an absolute nightmare. And many people were quite candid and honest about the terrible like shopping, experience that they had. That was one of the only times I've ever really seen people be quite honest. Most people won't share like if they've had a bad experience, like publicly or even privately, okay? Now, there's a lot of survivorship bias with shopping in Paris at Big H. Only the people who are successful shopping in Paris will make videos saying, I said, come what may, whether I succeed or not, I will film a video and I film vlogs and all the rest of it. This time around, when I go again in autumn, I'm not going to film any Big H vlogs, but I'm going to basically try and score as fast as possible. For me, it's time. I can't put my husband through, trying to score for weeks and weeks and weeks. That does not sound like a fun holiday. I need to score fast. I don't have days and days and days and days to dedicate to trying to score through the lottery. I would just rather go buy bait, get an essays card and basically try that way, or try outside of Paris, because for me it's about my time. Even like right now, like the manager at my company, she has to go on her holiday in order for me okay, to go to Paris in autumn, because she needs to take some time off so that I can then take time off. My Johannesburg trip wouldn't really affect me because it's just a 3-hour flight, but Paris requires effort and work, and you have to get visas, you have to get time off work, and you have to do all these things, okay? So I think it's just really important to note that. Remember, everything you're seeing is survivorship bias. Very few people share the unsuccessful stories. But if you go on the Purse Forum, you go on a lot of Big H, Hermes Facebook groups, and if you join my group, which I think is very truthful, in terms of the Parisian experiences, people have scored in my group this year and people haven't. It's a much more honest way of looking at things, because you see so much survivorship bias. So don't feel bad if you are trying to score in Paris and you haven't. There is so much survivorship bias. Only the people who score will come on YouTube to talk about it, and people also forget to kind of talk about it in a objective way. They just remember the good parts. They don't remember trying every single day for 30 days trying to get a leather appointment. They just remember, oh, I was offered, Okay, so please just remember that. The next thing that I wanted to address that I keep seeing a lot, which I talked about a little bit in the answer to Elaine, but I want to just kind of reiterate here, is the whole thing about Prespend. This is something that divides the Big H community, people who shop in Paris and people who don't. People say Prespend doesn't matter. I'm sorry, I don't agree. After going there in January, seeing everyone spend money, boo-boo, okay, in FSH, in Sevres, in George Cinq, let me stop you right there. The people who say Prespend doesn't matter, you're gatekeeping. Sorry. That is how I feel. It is what it is, and I'm telling you, that's what's going on. So, as I told you, if you get the leather appointment, I don't think your pre-spend purchase history matters. Sorry, I beg your pardon. I hope I said that correctly, because I'm not going to edit that out. If you get the leather appointment, your purchase history doesn't matter. Meaning, if you get the online leather appointment through the system, if you have £0 on your account, I don't think your purchase history matters. I feel like they'll offer you things, because I do think that they want to give Pegasus unicorn cupcake experiences to new clients of the brand. And I do think that they love the idea of new clients getting that Pegasus unicorn experience, so that they go on social media saying, guys, I didn't spend any money. But those of us, honey, who are like in the big H platoon of shopping in Paris, we know otherwise, and we know it plays a role. If you don't get the leather appointment through the online system and you have to rely on walking in, being squeezed in, talking to an SA, buying other bits, eventually your pre-spend matters, because they search you up on there. They have iPads, they have tablets, they look up your name, and you can see them looking at the things that you've bought, the essays. I do think that pre-spend matters. I don't think it's one-to-one. I think it depends like how many people are trying for appointments. It was very busy a few months ago, and you know, I think it just depends like how many people are trying. But every single day there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people trying every single day for the online leather appointment. And I think it also depends on what big H management want to do. Sometimes they decide they want to give walk-ins. Sometimes they're like, we're not giving people any bags who don't have an official leather appointment. So pre-spend, I think, plays a role, because what pre-spend does is it essentially helps to build your profile. So if the SA sees that you do have pre-spend, it doesn't need to be thousands of euros. They're like, okay, well, this person's already a client of our brand. Let me see if I can offer them something. Another reason why I think pre-spend matters in Paris is because it seems that the Parisian boutiques are moving to a different kind of model of servicing clients, something we haven't seen in a very long time, being that a lot of you guys have told me privately that you have shopped at Big H in Paris, you purchased bait items, and you have been offered bags, or you've been told, hey, I'm going to, like, when you come back to Paris next time, contact me. The SA will say, contact me, and then I will offer you something. Well, they won't say, I will offer you something directly like that, but then they'll say, we'll see what we can do next time. I think that the Big H boutiques in Paris are trying to cater to international clients who are going to be dropping a lot of money buying bait, and then they will reward those international clients with really cool quota bags, great scores. At the same time, there's a parallel business strategy, which is the Pegasus Unicorn Cupcake experience, where you don't have to spend any money and then you're offered a bag. So I think it's just worth noting that. I think that's where we're headed, because if you buy bait in Paris at the moment, a few of you have told me, and then you ask for the SA's card, assuming that you have purchased other things, like you bought ready to wear, you've bought maybe shoes, you bought fine jewelry, you bought watches, you bought other things, maybe menswear or men's baits. Then when you're like, hey, you know, could I have your card maybe for next time when I'm in town? At the moment, it seems that French SAs, Parisian SAs are giving their cards out to international clients who are buying bait. If you're someone who's like, I want to score a Birkin or a Kelly and I want to get an SA's card, but I don't want to buy something, I don't really see how you're going to get an SA's card if you aren't buying something. So now you see how purchase history does play a role. Okay, so I hope that we're clear on that, because I hope no one's going to misconstrue what I'm saying in the comments. I'm not saying you have to spend money to be offered. There are people every single day who are shopping at the 3 Parisian boutiques and haven't spent a pound, penny, shilling, euro, okay, in Paris, okay? But they are part of the parallel business strategy. The Pegasus Unicorn Cupcake, Hermes puts on his ponytail honey, he rides Pegasus and offers you the bag. I do think that is a minority, but I think most people are playing the Parisian game, buying bait, getting SA cards, and then the next time buying more bait, being offered bags, and then it's just a never-ending cycle of scoring in Paris. Hey guys, I was offered this in Paris, but people not saying that they bought bait and bought other bits and pieces. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to chat about as well is many people right now on social media, just generally speaking, all social media, like TikTok, Instagram, etc., many people don't even want to acknowledge that they buy bait in Paris. And I find that super, super weird. Like, particularly in a lot of Facebook groups, I see this all the time. Like, guys, I'm so lucky, I was offered this bag, and then in the picture in the background there are like boxes and boxes and boxes of things that were purchased at one of the 3 Parisian boutiques. I think some of this is because people feel like they get clout from shopping at Big H, and if they didn't have to spend money, that they're like more special than people who did. But as I told you, I was very naive in January. I really thought no one was spending money and everyone was just going in there to buy bags. I was shocked to see people in almost every single métier, in all 3 boutiques, buying stuff. Everyone is spending money there. Whether they show it on Instagram or not, almost everyone is spending money there. Another thing that people are doing right now on social media, this is a social media trend, and this is definitely something which I find really annoying, is people are minimizing the bait that they are buying in Paris, or the bits and pieces that they're picking up. I've seen this recently on, again, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook groups. I see this a lot. Like, guys, you know, I just scored this, you don't have to spend any money, I didn't buy anything, I haven't bought anything. And then in their previous trip, they spent thousands and thousands of euros on ready to wear, or, you know, shoes, or fine jewelry, or watches. You still need to factor in that your previous trip, you bought stuff, and that's why your profile looks good. And even if you went this trip and you didn't buy anything, your profile looks good, you have purchase history at the house, and you were offered something. The final thing, which I think is happening, and I can't prove this, it's just a theory, and, you know, like I said, none of this is meant to be proven or whatever, these are just thoughts and theories, but the final thing is that I believe, and this is my opinion, that neutral colored bags are being offered to Pegasus Unicorn first-time clients to have their Pegasus Unicorn experience. But I think the really coveted, hard to get bits, like the Mini Kelly 2, the Kelly Pochette, the Cargo, I think that, and even the Picnic Kelly as well, I think those bags in Paris are going to people with purchase history. This is my opinion for 2022. I think there was a period of time where the Mini Kelly was being offered to people with no purchase history. And by no purchase history, I mean you have £0 on your account. Not £0 this trip, £0 like forever. I do think that that is what's happening at the moment. So, because I always get this as well in my comments, like, well, how come I went and I didn't spend any money in Paris and I've never bought anything, and I was offered, you know, a Kelly 28 and I was offered a Kelly 25 and I've never bought anything. I'm like, okay, have you ever shopped at Hermes in Paris before? Yeah, I shopped there in 2017. I shopped there in 2016. What did you buy on that trip? I bought silks, I bought orans, I bought this. You have a purchase history. Let me stop you right there. We really need to stop this like minimization of bait. In summary, everyone is spending money in Paris. I need us all to stay on code. On this channel, we stay on code. We keep it Gucci. We don't pretend to look cool on the internet. I think that is just so, to be honest with me, to be honest with you guys, I think that's like corny. I would rather just be transparent. If I, like, when I go in autumn to Paris, if I score, I will tell you what I spent. And I'm just saying that right now, hand on my heart, hand on the Holy Bible. I want to be transparent about shopping at Big H, because there's just so many weird, like, creepy things that people do. The way people minimize what they buy, I just think is so weird to me and so strange. And yeah, just really, really odd. But I don't want anything to do with it. So yeah, I just wanted to give that unfiltered opinion and rant. The not acknowledging purchase history to me, I think, is very, very odd. If you bought a nail varnish, which is 45 euros, you have purchase history at Big H in Paris. Sorry, you do. If you've been offered bags in Big Paris, that also works. If you've been offered bags at Big H in Paris, you have purchase history. Acknowledge that you have purchase history, and acknowledge that Big H in Paris is changing. They want people with purchase history, okay? Because it's really driving me absolutely doolally, absolutely mad, the way people are pretending that purchase history does not matter in Paris and profiles don't matter. They do, okay? If you don't get the online leather appointment. If you do get the online leather appointment, I don't think that your spend matters whatsoever, but it's very, very hard to get it, okay? All right, so I was just going on and on and on because people drive me absolutely mad. You know, the things that I'm, particularly things I'm seeing in a lot of like Facebook groups and Instagram and TikTok. People are, in my opinion, just not being like that transparent. And to be honest, like, no one is owed that information. But I feel like if you're going to talk about a brand like Big H and you're shopping at Big H, we all know that purchase history and spend matters, so why wouldn't you want to at least share the information? You don't have to say what you spent, but I think even just, I feel like people should just even acknowledge, like, oh, I went to Paris, I didn't get a leather appointment, I got a walk-in, but I did buy Irans, silks, shoes, or whatever you purchased. Just mention it, because I think it's worth mentioning. I think for outside of Paris, it's the same thing. Some people have said, you can just walk into some places and ask. Some places will tell you, no, we don't have any bags, we're not going to offer you anything. Marseille is a location that comes up over and over again. A few years ago, people said, if you're a francophone and you go to Marseille, you could get offered. That was like the thing that lots of people were saying in forums and groups and all the rest of it. And now, people say that Marseille isn't like that anymore, and you can't just walk in and ask for something. They will want you to purchase something, okay? So let's just keep it Gucci. Let's keep it transparent to a point. I have my Johannesburg trip coming up, and then once my Joburg trip is done, I will go to Paris in autumn, and I will report back. I will film vlogs for all the other brands like Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Dior. I want to film vlogs for other brands now and go to like all of the department stores. I don't think I went to Bon Marché last time. I won't film like a big H vlogs or anything, but I will definitely go there and try and score, and then I'll report back, and I will be very, very, very transparent. What I spent, I will tell you, because I just think it helps us all if we're transparent, as opposed to trying to make it seem like, guys, it's all about the connection that you make with the SA. You cannot, I'm sorry, without spending money, in my opinion, you can't make a connection with someone who is literally seeing thousands of people walk into boutiques every single day in Paris. Like, you can't tell me that you've connected with someone who's seen 700 people, 500 people before you, 200 people before you. You're telling me that you are somehow more special than the 200 other people who are reading forums and groups and thinking that it's about a relationship? Stop. Let's be Gucci about this. It's about money. Okay? Now, let's get on to the bait list that I got. And here we go. So this was a really interesting bait list. So the score was a very beautiful Birkin 30. I believe the color is Nata. And this is from the US. Yeah, this is a Birkin 30 in Nata with gold hardware. So yeah, let's go through basically what she purchased, and let's talk about how long it took. And yeah, I can't wait to basically get into detail with you, like what she had purchased. So these are the things that she bought. On her first visit to the boutique, she bought mules. She bought 2 pairs of Irans. She bought a really beautiful TPM in a really stunning color. She bought 2 fine jewelry rings. She bought 2 bangles and a Click H bracelet. And she bought the Mini Kelly double toe bracelet. By the way, I love that bracelet. It's so cute. In her second visit, she then goes on and buys a double face scarf, and she also gets a Kelly belt as well. And then she buys some studded Orans. And then she also gets a Bastia, 2 twillies, a mini click Shandonkra bracelet. This offer was achieved very quickly, and this was a new offer at a competitive location. And yeah, I wanted to kind of chat about a few things. She also has some online orders that she made. I'm not going to include the online orders because online orders don't count towards your pre-spend in the boutique, but I will just mention what she purchased online anyway. But essentially, she bought a TPM in a really beautiful color, and that was purchased in the boutique. And then online she buys a Picotin Touch 22. She also purchased Orans, and she also bought a Evelyn 29 in a really nice neutral color. So she essentially bought two non-quota bags and Orans online. That doesn't count towards spend. But all of the things that she purchased that count towards spend that I had mentioned. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that she also got 2 twillies. She bought a ton of other things, and she also got a TPM in a really, really nice color as well. And then she was offered a Birkin 30. This offer came very quickly for a very specific reason. I can't get into the reason why, but essentially she got this offer fast. This location is competitive, but the offer came quickly, in my opinion, because it was a like first offer. And I feel like when it's like a first offer, the offer comes fast because they want to give you that Pegasus experience. Even if you're shopping at your home store, they want to give you that Pegasus experience. So let's break down some of the bait that was purchased. So I think what I find really interesting here, and I think that this helped her score quickly, was in the first appointment and the first visit to the boutique, she buys that TPM in that really nice color, and she gets fine jewelry in her first visit, and she gets shoes. I feel like a non-leather quota bag on your first visit and fine jewelry, I feel like that just helps to show that you're a serious client and you're not here to play around, basically, and you're willing to make sure that you spend the correct money and you buy the right things in order to get a very fast offer. So I think that played a role as well, for sure. Another thing that I think really helped her get the offer quickly was the fact that she was buying shoes, she was buying the, like I said, the fine jewelry. She was just buying things that she liked, but she was also buying things that I think that just look really good on your profile. So I'd love to know what you think. This was a very straightforward offer, like I said, but it was a first offer for her in this location. I think that plays a role. Like when you're shopping at a location and it's your first offer, I do think that they kind of make it a little bit easier for you and you get your offer like very, very quickly. So Birkin 30 in Nata with gold hardware, very, very beautiful, and yeah, very happy for her. So I'd love to know what you think about this beta list. The first offer is always the easiest offer, as they say, and then the offers become harder and harder and harder as time goes on. I'd love to know what you think. If you have liked me being candid in the video, you like when I keep it Gucci in videos, I think you'll really like my Facebook group, because I'm much more candid and open over there, because it's like a walled garden. I would actually die if someone from BK was watching this video. I would unlist it. So go join my Facebook group. It's so much fun. It's linked below, or you can just go find me on Facebook. Just put Haya Glamazon and then click on groups on my Facebook page. Don't forget to like and follow me there as well. I'm very active on TikTok. I think I've just found what works on TikTok, and what works on my TikTok now is just me showing like cool places I go to in Dar to have like brunch, food, drinks. Those are the TikToks that are working for me now. So I'll be posting like mini vlogs on TikTok. I'll be posting like Tanzanian shopping vlogs on TikTok, which have nothing to do with luxury, but if you want to see more of like my lifestyle and things that are a little bit more casual, I think you will enjoy my TikTok. So go join me there, and of course my Instagram, because my Instagram is where I also share a lot of information. There's so much going on. I just realized that my last video about Big H was like 9-10 days ago. Big H, honey, her and her ponytail have been ignored on this channel, so I had to bring her back. I really hope that you have liked this video. Please consider subscribing and hitting notifications as well, so you're always in the loop, so you don't miss out on my videos. What do you guys think about this bait list? What do you think of all the things we've discussed about Paris? I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week in my subsequent videos.